Hello everybody, it's Anna from Astralladytarot. A little bit of a breathe in, breathe out, because this is my chill pill for the day, filming this video for you. Here we have my favorite tarot deck in my entire collection, my evil twin, the Trionfi Della Luna Paradoxical. Here we have the new version of that same deck, the Trionfi Della Luna Paradoxical Illustrated Pips, both by Patrick Valenza from Deviant Moon. And today I'm actually going to compare these two decks. Now, there's nothing to compare regarding the colors that are used in this deck because they are both paradoxical versions, which mean they glow under black light. And I have a black light, and yes, I will show you one of these days. I just have to check if it actually shows up well on camera. But anyway, you might think, why are you trying to compare illustrated pips or scenic pips, which follow the Waite Smith in most cards, with a untraditional but still Marseille type style tarot deck? Because you might think all the Marseille pips look alike and they have no personality or any of that. I don't know. But I can tell you that it is quite interesting actually to compare these two decks, because it's initially the same deck, they just have different numbered cards. And in the past I have made two videos actually about this deck, the Marseille version, and how Patrick included some hints and details in the cards that actually give a lot away about the meaning of the cards. And now I want to bring you along so that we can see if we can find parallels. Because you know what? This is not a regular traditional Marseille tarot deck. You'll see, like, the Eight of Swords has drops of blood. The Four of Cups has a little disappointed face. So you'll see. And let's get into it. Okay, so you know what? Obviously, the majors are going to be the same. The chords are going to be the same. I'm just going to go over them. Wait, let me move that cup. Just going to go over them in case you hadn't seen them yet. Let me move the boxes and just do this. So basically exactly the same deck, yeah? And the right one, this one is my Marseille backup deck, in case something happens to the original one that I've been using for all these years. And the left one needs an ambulance. And the left one is my illustrated version, which I still have to get to know. In the world. Oh. Okay, here we go. I fixed it. For a second there, I was like, how did that happen? Let's zoom in a bit more. Because I know now. This is the thing. With these Marseille pips, Patrick chose a pinkish line for the swords. You see, like the line on the border. Then this is kind of a green-blue for the wands. They turn into a colder blue for the cups. And then finally the coins are purple. All right, that's an indication that, you know, one of those things that you can recognize the card by. And here, everything has a different color. Let's see. This is so interesting because all of these pips, the illustrated ones or the scenic ones, they have a white border. The quartz are kept the same. See that? So just the quartz still have that colored line on the border. So actually the aces are different. Is the only difference really that line? I think so. Okay. Well, I can see a comparison here with that eye turning a Marseille, especially this one with that black moon face. I see a black moon in there. Turning any Marseille Two of Swords card in this way, 45 degrees, we see an eye. And here we do have one. You know, I think I talked about this in my original video. I will link both of them so that you can go ahead and check those out, because actually they might be more useful than this one. This is just comparing two decks. But I do see in that symbolism, you know, it kind of find the truth, opening your eye. This is interesting because the Three of Swords in any deck isn't just about, you know, the things that kind of break your heart. It's also about sacrifice. It's about knowing when to leave things behind. And it's about communication also. So in here, I see in this banner looking thing, at the same time, it looks like a tongue, like a forked tongue. And it also shows that words can cut or hurt, as well as actions. And, you know, in here, you could see a similar thing, but the emphasis is on the heart rather than on the tongue. Okay, I love this Four of Swords. It's so well done. And I actually do see a similarity here because I see this flower, this rose, which is bleeding, by the way, because she's been cut, as the rose that is, I don't know, in the story of Beauty and the Beast, and maybe also something very similar in Le Petit Prince, the Little Prince, which is a rose that is actually dying, but that is kept not alive, rather in that type of suspended animation underneath a glass, like, and that's just not how we want to live, right? Because that's not life. Life is about experiencing things and losing things, and things are constantly dying and being reborn and in life, right? So that's how I made sense of that Marseille card. And in this Four of Swords, I see a similar energy, maybe, although it could be perceived as more positive, actually, because this definitely looks like a bud, a little buddy in a bud. So it does give us a direction in it's gonna open. The flower is going to open and is going to sprout and, you know, grow out of this. Whereas here, the only solution is a bloody sword. But yeah, different ways of looking at it. I don't know if this video is really helpful. Maybe it's just more kind of an entertaining thing. I'm not sure. Here we have, I consider this a different take on the Five of Swords than Waite Smith, because it's just one person. And I think that's interesting. Either way, you see how this is a bloody sword. There's just already symbolism in there. More, I think, to go on than a very traditional Marseille, which I also have. I have one traditional Marseille, which I really like. But you know, this is the deck that I learned on, and it allowed me to really find specific meanings, not just on the arrangement of the swords, but also on everything else that's depicted in the cards. Here, I always saw these, I don't know, like the Black Sabbath fallen angel type wings, as something is concealed, something isn't true, because it's as if those wings are hiding something, right? There's something behind it. At the same time, you know, the sword hiding behind this knot of the swords anyway needs to fly away, almost, like needs to find the truth, and the truth isn't always what we think. And this is, Waite Smith, Seven of Swords. It's read in many different ways, honestly. There's a lot that we can unpack here. But I mean, same for the Marseille Seven of Swords, right? Because those wings and the fact that this sword is behind the knot actually says a lot on the meaning, and we can kind of see that here. Of course, depending on how you read it, but yeah. How would we read this? Gosh, too much to say in this video, honestly, because otherwise it's going to be so long. But I have a video on the Two and the Seven of Swords, so I'll link that too. And it's a very different take than we usually get. So here we have the Eight of Swords with the drops of blood. This is very confined, and so is this, because it's an 8 and it's a hyperstability. At the same time, there's that there is no rebirth without pain, you know. It's a passage that we have to go through. So that's the take on this card. Is this confusing? It's a little confusing. This is fun, right? That Ten of Swords. Okay, quartz. Two of Wands. Here I see kind of holding the Ace. Could be, right? Holding the Ace of Wands, thinking maybe I want a new one. So there is that choice and decision in there, and a little bit of opposing forces. Because here, after all, in the Marseille, we get a cross, so the wands do meet. the similarity I see here is I always pay attention to these details as well. And so this looks like a flesh-eating plant to me with a little drop of something special that makes you look at the world in a different way with maybe more beauty and awe. No? This is such a fancy card in both decks because these curls, they can, well, they can read in different ways, but my initial response to those is always, ah, what a beautiful place you've arrived, you know, and it's the passion of fire and the stability of the four, which would make this place in the process the artist's dream place to be in. And this might be just that. So this is a very expressive Five of Wands. So is this one. You know, let me link another video, the tarot in sequence. Whoops, what am I doing? Because that's how you truly learn the Marseille, right? Look at those differences. It's not going to do much good looking at each and every card individually when learning Marseille. It's actually much better, I think, to look at them in sequence, because now we notice that these ones have produced thorns. This little detail looks like victory to me. The Eight of Wands is interesting, comparing a Waite Smith style with the Marseille, because in the Marseille from the 8 on, we get a big fat cross, meaning no or a boundary. And the Eight of Wands, swiftness, sure, but also those wands are going to have to land somewhere, right? So that can make a boundary as well. Here it's the boundary, but life keeps going, so you have to hang on. And kind of same here. You have to keep going. You know, it's interesting. I realize that now. I don't have so much to say on some of these cards because using the Marseille for so long, I've started to create, you know, my own tarot understanding and meaning and system, and it just really works well. I get so much out of it, and you know, doing readings for others, same. So it kind of feels like going back to the Waite Smith type imagery. It there isn't so much overlap as I thought. Like here, there clearly is. It was one of the cards that I remembered off the top of my head that are kind of boring, but at the same time the four is very stable, so we get those protective wings again. Yeah, I love this Five of Cups. This is so well done. here I'm seeing, you know, that childhood stuff, and here it can be anything, which I like. It's beautiful foliage and flowers and the sun there. So a very positive card for sure. I just like both of these. I like how these vines actually make it a very mysterious looking card. Even though it's very abstract still, I feel it totally fits this meaning, or one of the ways to read it. Here we get another, maybe kind of a bored or disappointed little demon friend. This is a slightly different take because it's more, as I said, nonchalant in my unboxing video, first impressions. But yeah. Last suit. Guys, I feel like this is a disappointing video, but I think I'm gonna upload it anyway, just to show you that, well, uninspired, I guess. It's not this deck, trust me. I love this deck. It's just one of those days. Like, you know, I said at the beginning of the video, this is my chill pill. I don't think it worked, so I'm gonna try doing something else after this. But I don't know, just whatever, just saying this. Let's keep going with the comparison. What I meant to say is that I usually have so much to say on this deck, and now comparing these two, it's almost like I'm trying the impossible, you know? Because I wanted to go full meaning and all of that, and maybe it's just not really there. It's interesting. I can always do that with the Marseille, but between these two decks, who are the same deck but different systems in the end, you could say, it's weird now. I mean, they're still the same realm, but it's almost more difficult to compare than to see the hidden Trionfi Della Luna symbols, or I should say hidden Waite Smith symbols within the Trionfi Della Luna tarot deck, if you know what I mean. Anyway, do we have a color difference here? Maybe it's been there all along, but it seems like the new deck is much lighter. Yeah, in real life as well. You know, as much as I appreciate this deck, I kind of wished we didn't see these titles, 3 of coins, etc. Because it's not like that in the Waite Smith either. I don't think anybody has, or in the original one at least, I don't think many people have difficulty reading the cards, recognizing the cards as, you know, the 3 of coins. I think the number is enough, and then the fact that we see 3 coins or pentacles, I think that would have been enough. Now we have words on every card, and yeah, you guys probably know by now, I really like my tarot cards with less words, usually. Yeah. More imagery, less words. Borders, I don't mind though. Yeah, so Four of Pentacles is, you know, more than miser energy. There's more to it than that. But for sure, with this shield, it shows that kind of, well, this is my treasure. You know, this belongs to me. This is mine. This is funny because they kind of have the same hat. See that? See, now I like this Eight of Coins. It's different. And I even feel it's different than this one, from this one. Because actually I feel like this imagery, this image is more close to the original Waite Smith with all of these pentacles on the tree. It's closer to that than this one. Because here we go into the ground. But actually it also makes sense, you know, pentacles being earth and all. I like it. Either way, I like it. It's a different take on it. These two are very similar, in my opinion. They have very similar feel. I mean, just check that out. You cannot say that the Trionfi Della Luna Paradoxical, or whatever, anyway, the original Marseille one, has pips that cannot be compared to other cards. This just shows with all of these different colors and just ornate decorations, these things, pips with feelings for sure. And yeah, just this is just luxury. And here, the 10 of Coins. You know, this is like the family tree, Makut, tree of life. And this, I guess, I like because it's a family generation thing, like something is being, I don't know, passed over. Yeah. So I like that. I like that generation thingy. This, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And here are the last chords. So I'm terribly sorry if this video wasn't all that you expected. I mean, I don't know at this point, what am I doing? This is a weird time in my life. And either way, I just really want to say thank you for being here. And yeah, this was my comparison of these two decks. You know, can't say a lot about it. This will still always be my favorite over these two. I understand that the illustrated or scenic pips is more readable, I think, more open for a larger public, probably. I don't know, at least in the English speaking world, you know, because in many other countries the Marseille is still definitely the deck that everybody uses. But yeah, this is more for everyone, and that is actually quite an interesting thing that is happening, because, you know, looking at the courts, most of all the majors, honestly, they do look more to me like Marseille versions. I mean, look, we have the death card with just a number. This is the unnamed arcanum, right? I mean, the Fool does have a 0, but, you know, they just look, I mean, look at that. They look more like Marseille majors. And now we have mostly Waite Smith type minors. So it's a hybrid deck. I guess we could, yeah, I guess we could categorize this deck into the hybrid decks or decks with hybrid systems. And the chords, I was trying to say, they still look more like Marseille chords to me, but that's, I guess, an opinion. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. I know this was a chaotic one, but there's some chaotic energy in my life right now. Subscribe if you want to hang out. Feel free to check out the videos that I linked, and maybe check out this one as well that I'll put in the screen. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.